boosting your income to fight inflation. Welcome to What's Next, Living Longer, Better, Smarter. This episode is made possible by GetSetUp, a place for active older adults to learn, connect, and share. I'm Fred Fishkin, along with Mary Furlong. Hi, Mary.
Hey, Fred. I'm really excited about this episode. I was privileged to be a judge in the competition, so it's so exciting to meet the finalists and winners from near and far.
And I think we can all learn a lot from them. We're going to meet the winners of the 55 Plus Accelerator Program at GetSetUp, 5 entrepreneurs, all 55 or older, who were chosen to receive $2,500 to grow their businesses and meet their goals. And from GetSetUp, we want to welcome co-founder and president Lawrence Kosick. Great to see you again, Lawrence.
Great to be here, Fred. Thanks again for having me, Mary.
So, Lawrence, I've had the privilege of watching you grow the past 2 years. You're one of the fastest growing companies in the space, having amazing impact. So give us an update on how you put this together and how you continue to grow.
Oh, that I'd be happy to. So if you think about the mission of GetSetUp, right, we're a social learning platform for older adults. And if you think about sort of the things that are important to all of us, after 50, one of the very important things is financial security. And so as we offered classes on the GetSetUp platform, we saw a lot of what people were requesting and attending actually sort of fall into the category of reskilling and upskilling. Like, what could they learn to help them either keep a job that they were in, maybe grow in that job, or if they were in fact retired, be able to re-enter the workforce. And those were really interesting classes around how to use LinkedIn to improve your profile, how to interview, how to write a business plan. And as we sort of watched the interest in these types of courses grow, we thought to ourselves, well, listen, this demographic is obviously thinking a lot about financial security. And for those who really want to grow their own businesses, how do we help them get access to some additional capital, to some growth capital? Because, for so many entrepreneurs, they have the venture community that they can go to raise money. This demographic, not so much. And so we thought, well, why don't we make that accessible and create an accelerator program that offers some financial assistance to those entrepreneurs who go through a program, get the skills, have really interesting and impactful businesses, and see if we can sort of connect the dots and help them take those businesses, add some capital, and really go and sort of grow what it was they had started. And so it made us very happy to see that we had so many of our learners thinking about how to either grow their existing business or create a new one. And for us to create this program and have so many wonderful people attend it and be creating things that are really changing their community, society, the world, and help them either in a small, medium, or slightly larger way, we thought was really, really important. So we're very glad to be here with some of the winners of the program and look forward to having all of them share some of the details about their businesses today.
What a really great idea, Lawrence. And you got great response, didn't you? Yeah,
we had, I think, 400 plus applicants. And so it was a wonderful response. And then we had a subset of those actually go through a 12-week program. And so we were absolutely overwhelmed, and we hope to do it again in the future.
So let's meet these winners and learn more about what they're doing and how we can all maybe learn from their experiences. First, from the Philadelphia area, Linda Savilich, owner of Classes Offered in Ashton. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Fred. It's really an honor for me to be here. It's been such an experience. I've grown so much from being able to be in this program. I just can't say enough wonderful things about it. I offer classes of sewing classes and craft classes in the Aston, Pennsylvania area. And I just totally love being able to share my knowledge with my sewing students. And it's just been a wonderful experience.
So, Linda, what classes are most popular in sewing?
Well, I have 5-year-olds to retirees. I have all ages, all genders. The classes are geared to what the student wants to learn. It's not one project for everybody. Everybody wants to do something different in their own way, which is what makes it so creatively wonderful, because they don't get this in the schools. They don't get this in other adult education venues. And it just makes me happy to make them happy.
And so I'm very excited about this because I was, Fred doesn't know this, but I was the fashion columnist in high school. And so I've always loved fashion, and I have some young women in my life, and they signed up to take fashion classes. So I think there's strong interest. And with the inflation, I think people are going back to sewing is my thinking. It's a very creative hobby, but there aren't many teachers. So tell us what you're going to do with the funding that you receive from GetSetUp.
Well, my primary objective is to get a better phone. However, marketing is going to be another expense that I use the funds for. That's one of the reasons why I really needed to apply for this, because advertising is just so expensive, and you don't know whether something is going to give you the results that you want it to give you. So I have to really be so thankful to be able to expand the advertising. And my
we had a little breakup there,
my
Linda,
phone needs to be improved.
a little breakup. I was going to say, how's business? And you could answer so, but I'll let that go. So congratulations, Linda.
Thank you.
We have such a variety here. Next, we want to meet from Bangalore, India, Bharathi Kumar. And Bharathi, you have created a food business?
Yes, Fred. Thank you for giving this opportunity. I am having small food business. I created at this like COVID time. Actually, I prepare some ready to cook food. Eventually, I started with that for my son who is studying abroad. Then it turned into a small business, and I started making like 6 to 7 items of mainly Indian food. That one is actually made of with many grains that anybody can use, but other food items is our Indian cuisine, which we can cook in a jiffy.
And how have you been using the GetSetUp platform?
Yeah, I joined GetSetUp like 6 to 7 months back, and I started giving some cooking sessions also there, and I started giving garden tips. I love gardens, so I am having a garden. I giving the sessions on gardening also, and cooking also. Yes.
What's your specialty in the kitchen?
Our Indian cuisine, if you know, so many varieties in India. Each and every region has something special item. So I make our Karnataka, Bangalore, you know, IT city, our Karnataka special cuisine. I prepare some items which you can cook very fast. For example, I can show one item here. This is one of our rice and dal mix. This, otherwise, if you want to cook from starch, it will take almost 30 minutes. But from this mix, you can cook directly, put in pan and put water in cooker, and it will be each and everything is there. Just to add water and cook. So like this, I made 5 to 6 items. So all are happy with my products item.
You know, I saw a company called Chefs for Seniors, and it's where people cook and then deliver food to seniors. But there's always an interest in matching older adults in communities with food that they like from their own ethnic background. And I love that it's in a jiffy. So tell us, how are you going to use the funding from GetSetUp?
Yes, definitely. I use these funds to expand my business. I am doing my small kitchen now, this items, but after getting this amount, I may start up a small unit for making these items, and I will appoint somebody to help me in this process. It is actually a long process of making the food, like in slow roasting method. I made this food, not using very big machinery. So I need a help. Maybe one day, full day help like that I make, and I may invest on some small machineries, maybe.
Terrific. Well, thank you. And another of the winners is related to food.
Thank you.
Let's meet Twyla from the Sacramento area in California. Tell us more about your company and what you do, Twyla.
Thank you so much. Well, what I've decided that I wanted to do, and I didn't really have this idea until I joined GetSetUp, and I was taking a class, and one of the instructors said, "Oh, you know what? You should do this and you should do that." I'm like, I'm not sure about that. So he said, "Why don't you enter the Business Accelerator Program?" Well, at that time, Mary, and I was really new to GetSetUp. So when I told my daughters I was thinking of joining GetSetUp, they go, "Oh, Mom, please don't go on that online senior dating. No, don't do that, Mom. You don't want to get set." I go, no. It's not like that. And they're like, "Oh dear." And they were really worried. So I thought, well, I'm just going to try. If they ask for my credit card, then I'm out of there. If they want my social security number, I'm out of there. But then sure enough, I wasn't out of there, and everything was so legit, and I was having a great time. So when I talked with the business people, they said, what you need to do is take what you're doing as a hobby and turn it into a business. Because what I do is I promote a healthy, lively, vibrant, active lifestyle for older adults. I was teaching a class at our local university, Sacramento State University, on plant-based living. And when I started that class, they'd never had a class like that before. So they said, "Well, what's the least amount of people you'll do it for?" I go, "Well, how about 5?" Well, after 1 month of registration, there were 55 people signed up and 25 people on the waiting list. And these are all older learners. This is a program similar to OLLI or the Lifelong Learner Program. So I knew right then and there was a market for that. So my business now is I want to be a full-time, I shouldn't say want to be, I am a full-time influencer. I promote products, services, and brands to older learners, to older people who want to enjoy a vibrant, healthy, active lifestyle.
Very interesting. So with the plant-based recipes, do you provide recipes for people, or you teach people to cook that way?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I was on our local news program, Good Day Sacramento. And what I did is I made brownies in the Instant Pot. I don't know if you're familiar with the Instant Pot, but it's all plant-based, all whole foods. It's very quick. You don't have to turn on the oven. Today in Sacramento, it's going to be 106. So if you have a craving for brownies and you don't want to turn on the oven, you can make it in the Instant Pot. It's all whole food, plant-based. And people, since food has gotten so expensive, they're cutting back on a lot of things, but they really want to focus on their nutrition and their whole foods and really get, you know, a bang for their buck. And so that's what I try to do, make them still affordable and still very delicious.
When it comes to teaching on GetSetUp, I mean, all of a sudden, this classroom, instead of 55 people, you're opened up to the world.
It's amazing. And that's what I'm so excited about. Thank you for mentioning that. And GetSetUp has been just wonderful to, you know, Liz and Karina and Lawrence and Neil, everyone have just said, yeah, take this, you know, throughout the world. And so I'm anxious to talk with an Indian person about her food, and we could do something together like that. And Leslie's been so helpful with her Canva projects and said, you could do this, and help me with some flyers. So it's been such a community. I mean, I feel like, yes, I'm being able to reach a lot of people who are interested in a plant-based lifestyle, but I've gained so many friends from Pennsylvania, Arizona, New Mexico, Florida. It's just been great.
Well, this is really exciting to me. So a friend of mine, John Hagel, wrote a book, probably all of you should read, called Net Gain, which was on the business models on the internet, which was content, commerce, community, context. But to think that this accelerator program has you learning from each other, just like we see happening at Techstars and Plug and Play in Israel. So, you know, what happens is during the COVID, we need to find these new communities of interest. So I think that's really, really important and very futuristic. And a friend and I have had Lydia on our program from PBS, and we've been interested in watching how she's grown that brand. So there are lots of examples of people in the food industry that have grown brands, and so exciting, those connections. So how are you going to use the funding?
I've thought of a lot of different ways. First thing I did was go out and buy a tripod and a ring light, because that was suggested that I need that. So that was $33 out of the $2,500 I bought. And then Kevin, who's kind of like our leader, he suggested another monitor so that when I'm showing the food, I don't have to like switch back and forth and bring the food on and then leave and bring the food on. So that was another thing. And then I also want to attend a food bloggers influencer conference in Chicago. I think that would be great because I'm also on TikTok. And so that takes some editing skills. And I love TikTok because they're really working hard to debunk the ageism. So I am like, yes, I'm on there and that's what we're doing. And there's a lot of older people on there, which I'm really thrilled about. So those are some of the ways I'm going to use the funds.
And one other question, what do your daughters think now?
My daughters are like, they can't believe it. They're like, what, Mom, what? And so yesterday I sent them the clip, you know, when I was on Good Day Sacramento, they go, Mom, this is just like amazing. I go, I know, who would have thought, you know, not me. I was just a happy Nana babysitting, you know, and, but they really know the passion I've had for this for a long time. And so they're thrilled that it's going in a positive direction to help other people.
Well, that passion is very evident. Congratulations, Twyla.
Thank you so much. And again, thanks to everybody. Thank you, Lawrence, Neil, Linda, everybody. Thank you so much.
We have another guest from India, from Mumbai. Let's meet Nita Goyal. Hi, Nita. You're an artist?
Yes, I'm an artist and I paint on porcelain. Yeah. So my company's name is Arya Arts, and I started this company in 2014. My first granddaughter was born in 2014 and her name is Arya, hence the name Arya Arts. Actually, I've been painting since I was a child, but I used to paint earlier on canvas. And then in 2005, I took up porcelain painting, and since then there has been no looking back. So porcelain painting is actually a different kind of painting, you know, which is done on porcelain or bone china. And some different kind of paints are used for this, which are like powder paints, which are mixed typically with some kind of an oil. And then that is painted on the surface and fired in a furnace at a temperature of 800 degrees Celsius. And this process is repeated till you get the desired depth. So I paint Indian traditional folk art, which is very popular. And I paint landmarks and monuments, which you can see behind. And these are really very famous among the expats because they like to display them as memoirs. I also conduct classes in porcelain painting because I want to revive this dying art of porcelain painting.
That's beautiful. That's some of your work that we can see behind you for people who are watching this?
Yes. So that is the Asiatic Library in Bombay. And this is the Taj Mahal Hotel in Bombay. And you can see it better.
It's absolutely beautiful. And you're teaching classes too. So tell us how you're going to use the funding from GetSetUp.
Yeah, so basically, you know, I would like to invest some money in buying some good quality paints and brushes, my paints and brushes are mostly imported from Portugal and USA. And the better the quality of the paints and brushes, the better is the finishing on the product. I would also like to upgrade my furnace because the furnace which I have is really very old. And I would like to use some funds to build up a website. I do not have a website. And use it for marketing on social media and put up my products on Etsy, Shopify, eBay, etc. And I would also use some fund for renting out galleries in Bombay to hold exhibitions, so to create more awareness about my products. And we have a special art fair in Bombay once in a year, which is called the Indian Art Fair. And participating in that exhibition is really very expensive. So hopefully I can participate in that exhibition next year. And I would also use some funds to market my classes more so that I can get more students.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Nita. And
Thank you.
also related to the arts, Leslie Lamb is with us from Albuquerque, New Mexico. You're a graphic designer, Leslie. Tell us your story.
Well, I am a graphic designer now, Fred, but what I was in the past was a bookkeeper and an accountant. And I knew when I was going to transition out of that career, I didn't want to do anything in the financial field. And I'd always been very artistic, but I needed to find the right platform for me to learn how to be an artist. And I found that actually with GetSetUp, because I had no confidence in a new skill set. I did not know how to use the platforms. I didn't even know how to use Zoom when I first started with GetSetUp. I'd never been on a Zoom call. So very quickly, I actually got involved as a volunteer with GetSetUp, which allowed me to participate in ways that I felt comfortable until I became comfortable doing other things. And so my business is not as, or my business journey maybe is not as clean as someone else's, because I've kind of jumped all over the map. But I think that happens to some people until they find what they really want to do and what they're really passionate about. And so I actually have another business where I started creating graphics for our senior centers, our local senior centers. And it's intergenerational craft projects for grandparents and their children. But I realized I really, really enjoyed teaching. So then during the accelerator program, I set up my Grace Place Creative business, which is solely to teach other entrepreneurs how to use my favorite platform, which is canva.com.
So tell us what you're doing now on GetSetUp.
So I am still a volunteer with GetSetUp. I do a weekly social session. It happens to be on cooking for one or two, which is a very popular topic. And that was how I actually started using Canva, was to create little fun things to give away to everyone with little fun facts or recipes or whatever we might talk about. So 3,000 designs later, I realized I really like Canva and I'm pretty good at it. So then I started doing my business, and we'll actually be teaching my first class, which will be like GetSetUp. It will be a live class. And what I teach will be determinant based on what learners want to know. So my class is half full as of now, and we're planning on starting it in August. They'll just learn how to use Canva to create everything they need for their business. And also, if they'd like to become a Canva consultant or a freelancer, they will be able to create a portfolio. So
I can't wait to share that with Guy Kawasaki, who was one of the early people in Canva, but this is really impressive.
Oh yeah, they'll get all sorts of fun stuff.
Lawrence, tell us, how many people does GetSetUp reach right now?
The latest numbers would be close to almost 5 million monthly active users, but I will caveat that, as you can tell from our winners here today, our audience is very global. So 2/3 of the audience is international. Probably about 1/3 of those would be in the US. But it's a wonderful mix to have, because it makes it much more of a global feel when you have folks from different cultures, different backgrounds that speak different languages coming together as a community. We actually embrace the fact that it's a very global platform.
Well, this reminds me of the early days of SeniorNet, and when we started seeing these creative projects, which caused us to create a conference, which we should talk about. But one of the things that happened, we had 22 marriages, and that just came because the friendships happened. But as you get to know this, you expand your social network so wide. Was this beyond your dreams in terms of what could happen with this, or did you have a sense it would be like this when you found the winners?
Gosh, no, I think this exceeded our expectations. I think we knew that it was that there was a need, and we believe greatly in empowering, our demographic to do anything and everything they want to do to live happy, healthy, more connected lives. And I would argue, as somebody over 50 myself, this demographic has so much knowledge, so much wisdom, so much experience that they can offer others if there was just a place that helped them sort of get some of those final skills and maybe a little capital to do that. And I think that we're at the beginning of a journey where, we've done this initial accelerator, but I think we're excited enough where we're thinking, well, how do we do more of this? And how do we take it to the next level, and really blow it up? And so this initial accelerator program has been a real motivator for us to do a lot more.
What advice might some of our participants have for people watching this? Maybe you first, Linda.
I think that if a senior feels like they've never had a chance to have their own business and they've always wanted to have their own business, this is a great, don't miss the opportunity. It's a gift to be able to be this age. So why not take advantage of your hobby to share with others and maybe make some money? I think it's just wonderful. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning, gives you a little pep in your step, makes you really look forward to the day.
The fastest growing part of the labor force is 75 and older. And those are people that are going back to work, But I love the fact that by starting your own business, it's unlimited, the money you can make, the creativity, and the impact you have, right? It's another way to diversify your portfolio of income and find a lot of joy.
Anyone else want to share some thoughts of words of wisdom?
Well, I think we've seen, and especially I think COVID exacerbated the issue. And even before COVID, so many seniors were feeling isolated and lonely. And I know the UK even selected someone to be the prime minister to solve some loneliness issues in the UK. And this has done an excellent job. GetSetUp has done an excellent job, as Lauren said, bringing together people from all over the country, all over the world, and making friends with people in India. And so even if you're sitting at home, maybe gas, we have gas at $6.50 a gallon here. Even if you're sitting, you can still reach out to your friends, and we have a club, we have different communities like travel or photography, or the new one I started, plant-based people. And you can find something you're interested in and find some friends, and you won't be lonely anymore.
I've always embraced the notion of older adults as producers and creators, and that's what I see here.
Nito, you wanted to chime in?
Yeah. I also agree with Linda and Twyla, that there is a lot to learn on this platform, and GetSetUp has given us such a big opportunity to learn so many things. Like, I was never so tech savvy, which now I have become. I never knew how to use social media so well and use the LinkedIn profile, create a Google business profile for myself. I never knew what's a WhatsApp business account. So I think it's a great platform for the senior citizens to learn new things, which we had never ever done earlier. Like some things like dancing and singing, and so many things to learn over here. I have actually recommended it to many of my friends to join the platform. So thank you very much, GetSetUp, for the whole opportunity, and especially to give me an opportunity to participate in the Startup Accelerator Program.
This really has been wonderful. And for our audience, if you aren't a part of GetSetUp, what are you waiting for? The website is getsetup.io. Lawrence, there's so much there, including much more on how to make money at home.
Yeah, we try to keep the programming interesting and fresh. And so there should be something for everybody, whether you're trying to learn a basic device, like how to use your smartphone or your tablet or Android or your laptop to get into your first Zoom class. We can absolutely help with that. But then, as you've heard from so many of the wonderful winners, is that once they get comfortable with some of this technology, it then allows them to truly shine and to take their hobbies, their interests, their desires, and make businesses out of it. And then take some classes that allow them to build a business plan and think about the social media marketing and an opportunity to raise a little bit of money. So the platform is really wonderful, and it allows something for everybody if you happen to be, 50 or older.
Now, I know this podcast is focused on older adults, and so this is really of interest. But Lawrence, you've also gotten some support from the government offices who've seen this as an economic development opportunity. Can you just speak to that for a second?
Sure. I mean, I think the governments have actually been important partners because they truly do think about creating new economic opportunity for their populations. And if you think, and you mentioned it earlier, Mary, the fastest growing portion of our population are older adults, are folks over 50, and those looking for new jobs. The fastest is 70 plus. And any way we can partner with them to sort of help spread the word about those available resources. They have money available for devices and for classes and for starting businesses like the SBA, for example, and being able to take our community, help them with the skills they need, connect them with the financing and or opportunities out there that the state also helps with, is just, rising tides sort of lifting all boats.
I find that very inspiring. I also want to, Fred, just share with you, listening to the use of proceeds of the winner's money, the tech sector corporations should be paying attention to what they're going to be purchasing. So this should be of interest to Best Buy and to other companies like the Apple companies. They are getting new phones, and to the graphic design and what do you think about that, Fred?
Well, sure. There's a lot of opportunities, some great new technology arriving all the time to make video conferencing better, easier, make all of our lives a lot easier. Really want to thank all the winners here for spending time with us, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so much for having
Thank
us.
you so
Thank you,
much.
Fred. Thank you, Mary.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
This is going to be a story we're going to want to watch. And so we're thrilled for all the winners, and thank you for spending time. It's very exciting. And congratulations to the GetSetUp team, Lawrence, and the whole team that made this happen. It's very impressive.
And we also want to thank GetSetUp for making this edition possible. And thanks to all of you for watching or listening. Remember, you can always find us and our other podcast, What's Next Longevity Deal Talk, at maryfurlong.com/podcasts.